So for those
Yeah.
that don't know, I'm Jordan Freed. I'm the founder of a company called Immutable Holdings. Immutable is a Web3 venture studio, and the first thing that we are building is NFT.com. Um, NFT.com is too good of a domain name to belong to one person. It shouldn't be Jordan's. It shouldn't be Alex. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be Gina. Gina's our COO. It shouldn't be Yale's. Yale's our head of content. It needs to be everyone's. We realize it really needs to belong to the community. And as we got to thinking about what that could mean as a core tenant for a platform, we knew a couple things had to be true. One, NFT.com would have to be the most decentralized platform. Decentralized in how it operates, decentralized in how it's governed, but it would really have to prioritize decentralization first and foremost. And what we mean by that is while we are, Alec, myself, our team, while we are stewards of the platform, we shouldn't be able to co-opt the platform. I think that we're living in a really important moment in history where we've seen these Web2 platforms become all powerful. So much of us as internet users have given up our rights to our data and our privacy in exchange for what? Free social networking, free web searches, free email. We have given away our right to have our email looked at so that ads could be displayed to us based on our email preferences. Um, we've given up the right to have, retargeting shown to us on the social networks we use based on the pages we like and the people and businesses that we interact with. And I think our core philosophy with NFT.com is the internet could be architected in a better way where the users are empowered, but more importantly, the users can accrue value. So one of the things we like to say internally is, Web 2 was really about building a mansion on someone else's land. It's kind of like the old feudal system where you don't own your presence on Facebook. You may think you do, but you don't. You're renting your profile page or your business page. And the same is true on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere else that you exist on the internet today. Web3 offers us the promise to not just build that mansion, but own the land under which it's built on, to control it, to be able to share in the economic rewards of these decentralized communities, to help govern it, to have your voice heard, and to be a decision maker. So much of the problems we've seen over the last decade from the creator perspective is is going to be addressed with Web3 technology. And I'll be the first to say, Alec, and I know I'm going on for a while here, so I'll shut up
That's
in a
good.
second. But Web3 is very aspirational. We are still very much in a Web2 world, but we have the technology, we have the toolkit that can enable us to build better web applications with those users in control. And a really core vision is that NFT.com is going to be a platform for creators and for users, by creators and by the users, where the users
You cut out there for a moment, Jordan.
up where
Wait,
sorry, I had an incoming call, but where the
all good.
users, to finish the thought, where the users of the platform are in control.
Yeah.
So that yeah,
Yeah.
that's us at a high level. That's what we're building. Although I feel like I kind of avoided saying exactly what it is that we're building, while really just talking about why I'm really excited about Web3.
It was a solid answer. I guess to kind of add to your point, when we look at the NFT space, it really represents more than just art. It's any digital items that will ever exist, and whatever ends up becoming the hub for that entire ecosystem across every metaverse and digital space, it deserves to be owned by the people who use it. So that's really what we're building here. Um, Tell us a little bit about when did we start working on NFT.com? Maybe mention a little bit about like when we got NFT.com originally and then what that process was like.
Yeah, yeah. So I've had the great fortune of being in the world of blockchain from honestly, I think I've got one of those stories where I think the only way to describe it is serendipity. It was a really fortunate accident. Um, I was running a VPN brand, and VPNs in the pre-Snowden days were relatively niche. You had a VPN if you really cared about your internet privacy, your personal security. If you really are paranoid when you connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot, all of you should be. Um, you use a VPN connection. In the post-Snowden world, Snowden really, shed light on just how harmful governments can be in terms of abusing power and being able to literally mine every aspect of what we do, every message we send, all of that. And in the post-Snowden world, our users didn't just want a VPN subscription; they wanted to pay us in cryptocurrency. They wanted to pay us in Bitcoin. So I had the great fortune of really just coming to the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency in 2012, 2013. And I share that because I've had this amazing front row seat to watch all of it evolve. When I first got into Bitcoin, there was really nowhere to buy and sell Bitcoin outside of forums. There was nothing to do with Bitcoin outside of buying pizzas on forums and things of that nature. And the exchanges and the indexes and all the cryptocurrency speculation and the media publications like Coindesk, all that stuff came later. So to watch the technology evolve, I got to kind of pick up on what some of the early trends for the stuff would be. When Ethereum came about, it became clear that this thing was going to be very different than Bitcoin. This is not supposed to be a payment network. This is supposed to be a general purpose application network with smart contract execution. So I had the great fortune of being early to tokens, and then to be early to the things that you could do with tokens, and then to be early to smart contracts. I had tried to buy as many of the early blockchain tech domains as I possibly could. I famously struck out trying to buy crypto.com. For
Oof.
those that care, you can go dig it up on on my Twitter thread in 2017. I
Seems
tweeted
pretty
at a guy
salty.
named Matt Blaze who owned it, and he told me it was not for sale. I guess as it turns out, it was for sale. Just my price wasn't high enough. So that was the one that got away. But I knew in 2020. Well, first, I knew about NFTs in 2017 and was very excited about them. I don't think not for the reason that people are excited about NFTs today, but I was excited about what you could do with what I perceive to be a digital property right protection. So when the opportunity was presented to me to get the domain name in 2020, NFTs still weren't yet cool. I immediately started negotiating. The price was going to be the highest I had ever paid for a domain name, so I got nervous about it. But honestly, being very convicted in the tech, I'm happy. We ended up purchasing the domain and at the very beginning of 2021, and then honestly, Alec, if you remember, that was the craziness was this is before the Board Ape Yacht Club got super hypey and popular. This is
Yeah.
before Doodles. This is before Gary V's V Friends. Um, this is before everything that we see in the market in its current form today. And immediately overnight, their offers start rolling in. I mean, this has got to be one of the most annoying domain names in the world to own, in that we the amount of general inbound spam we get from domain brokers, from GoDaddy, Uniregistry, everybody trying to buy this thing. I wish we could just plaster on the homepage, "This domain is not for sale."
I
We
I can
intend
say
to
with
develop it.
confidence.
Yes, we
Yeah.
intend to develop it, and we intend to empower the users on this particular platform to run it and govern it and do all of that. So, um, yeah, that it's been a crazy journey from to where we are now, and I'm just again I'm fortunate just to have been early to what the tech can do. If I wasn't, I don't think I would have known to buy NFT.com. So obviously grateful and very excited that we did, and we're in this position to be able to develop this open source platform that we're building.
Yeah. I myself was a bit late to it. I remember being told about the rare Pepes in 2017 during the Hedera days, and I unfortunately slept on it. A good friend of mine did not, and he did much better than I. Um, yeah, it's really
Those
exciting to
rare
have this.
pepes go for like millions
Oh,
now. Those are
it's
crazy.
disgusting. Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah.
um, all right. So I guess next kind of question to dig into is let's talk a little bit about these Genesis keys and kind of the idea behind this. I've put this in a number of ways in the community, but I guess in your own words, these first 10,000 keys marking the first 10,000 people on the platform. Um, What does that kind of mean to you and for the project?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, the Genesis keys are the focal point of the entire launch and management and evolution of NFT.com. And we knew it would be so important that it would be a small enough number that the community could become a collective, that the community could organize. That participation in it wouldn't be deterred because there's too many, and wouldn't be couldn't be co-opted because there's too few. We knew, and that number 10,000 has, significance in the NFT space, and we wanted to pay homage to the amazing PFP projects that have come before us, right? 10,000 CryptoPunks, 10,000 Bored Ape Yacht Club members, 10,000 doodles, right? These are
Mm.
it's become somewhat of a significant number, and these are incredibly powerful, well organized communities with various leaders for different special interests. Someone wants to organize Ape Fest, so they go out and they organize Ape Fest, and the only way in is an ape, right? And we really liked how some of those communities were forming. We needed a way to start all of this. It's too big of a vision to do alone. We needed to invite all of you listening now and more to come and contribute to the particular to this project. And the way of doing that, if you look at standard, call it Web 1, Web 2 product launches,
Network
the
growth in general.
best what's that?
Just network growth in general
In
across
network growth in
any
general,
social
exactly.
media. Yeah.
Exactly. They all started with these amazing control groups where user feedback was taken. Look at like Clubhouse being 1,000 first, like diehard raving fans before, spiraling out of control, where everyone needed an invite, right? Whether you use that or Twitter Spaces, the growth was incredible. Everybody and their mother was waiting to find someone that could give them a Clubhouse invite. The same was true in the early days of Gmail. If you remember, you needed an invite to get a Gmail account. You could say the same for Facebook, where you needed a harvard.edu email address. Initially, we knew we needed to birth the genesis of the entire ecosystem. And we knew that we wanted a special, forever founding status of becoming essentially a co founder of the NFT.com community. And we wanted that to be commemorated with this amazing key. But we wanted that key to unlock the ecosystem. So practically, those key holders, they're the first to mint their profiles on NFT.com. They're the first to test out new features as those features roll out. They'll be the first to stand up governance, both submitting proposals, voting on proposals that are brought to the table. It's as if there were only ever going to be 10,000 blue check marks on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
It's being at that focal point, at that epicenter of that community. And then how I think this gets gamed out is I believe those Genesis key holders will be the all powerful ones that are responsible for enabling the community to open up, for really promoting the growth. Obviously, we hope that Genesis key holders have high net promoter scores, meaning a high likelihood to promote the platform to friends and family and people who they want to see in the community. And we wanted that kind of that we wanted to start with that decentralized group. So that's how we came up with this concept of a Genesis key. We like the notion of a key because the key should really unlock NFT.com, unlock features, unlock experiences, right? I want Genesis key holders getting together annually in person, maybe for some governance. I want Genesis key holders to get access to exclusive drops from artists, where artists want to just drop their stuff first and foremost to Genesis key holders, or maybe Genesis key holders get whitelisted for new project drops. And we're already talking to some of those first, and where Genesis key holders can get in first. So I think that, what we really hope to do is curate this amazing community. And honestly, I'll have one Genesis key and only one Genesis key, and our team will, but we can't do this without the others, without all of you. And
Yeah.
I think this Genesis key drop is really symbolic of the genesis of the NFT.com platform, the community, all of it. And it's got a lot of significance. The project doesn't work without it.
Yeah. I guess to add a bit of color to this as well, those who mint these profiles, these NFT.com/you/hello/ whatever you want. This is the ultimate user experience of NFT.com, but those with the Genesis keys will be the first and original to create these profiles. To be exact, and ideally one for themselves and one to share with someone else in their network. So, while we're on this topic, do you want to talk a little bit about profiles?
Yeah, I would love to talk about profiles. So, I kind of referenced it when I talked about Web 2, right? So it's so funny, and I really don't want to talk politics here, but I'm very concerned with what we see in Web 2 right now. One is you can build up so much value in a particular profile, and you're prohibited from selling it, which seems very counterintuitive, right? How can you own or how can you have a Twitter profile or a Facebook profile or a Instagram profile and not have the rights to be able to sell that particular profile? Um, it's like very called out as something being prohibited.
Mhm.
And what's worse is at the discretion of these platform owners, there's like 100% eminent domain. In the same way that a government can take back a plot of land to maybe build a railroad on top of or a new public utility, they can just take back someone's land. These platform owners can take back a profile either because there's a big partnership that they want to line up or they no longer want you to have twitter.com/Alec or whatever it is. With NFT.com profiles, we wanted to really entirely invert the way that Web 2 works today and do something really for the users. So our idea was, what if users could mint NFT.com/you, NFT.com/ their name, their brand, and what if they could own it in the form of a token, an ERC 721 token that would live in their wallet? And what if instead of a username and password, what if we use that token to do single sign-on authentication to prove that was your profile? And if you're a collector, that profile will be your gallery. And if you're a creator, that profile will be your storefront. But that will serve as the one of the core primitives of this entire decentralized ecosystem, where eventually we want to enable a Web3 social experience where Jordan can see what Alec is doing and Alec can see what Jordan's doing. Of course, if I enable those privacy settings, and I want you to be able to do it. Um, and my data isn't being mined and it's not being sold and ads aren't being displayed. And the way we get around doing that is we ask you to mint it up front. So it is slightly different, right? You do get, of course, you don't have to pay for your Facebook profile, but that's because Facebook makes $15 per user per quarter and they're selling your data, right? We're going to ask you to mint it and you're going to be able to not be monetized. You won't be the product. You'll be able to help shape your platform and you'll be able to own it. And I think the other unique thing I'd mention about it, Alec, is we actually encourage secondary speculation among these profiles. If you want to squat on NFT.com/1337, you can, and you can flip it if you want, and sell it in the marketplace. And we encourage that. It's your profile, it's not ours. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited about profiles. I have a very I have a very idealistic way I think of how I would like the internet to operate, and I think that we can be part of that change with how we're structuring, user onboarding with NFT.com.
Yeah, it honestly, and that's kind of the fun of it. I'm so interested to see what the first 10,000 people mint when it comes to profile names. There is a lot to be had there, and ideally, this is kind of I would imagine people would probably have one that they're speculative on and one that kind of represents them. But I guess to talk a little bit about the profiles as well, like this is really kind of your home on the internet when it comes to NFTs and digital things and anything that's represented digitally. And this is your place to kind of express your gallery in a way that best fits you. Do you want to talk at all to the customization of profiles at all or any of that?
Yeah, so I think to do that, we have to kinda talk about, like, where NFTs are today and then where we see them going.
Yeah.
NFTs today are the entire ecosystem is kind of manifested in the form of cute JPEGs and GIFs and memes, and I think it's pretty exciting, but I think it's limiting in helping people understand what they're gonna be used for in the future, because I don't think that NFTs are being used today the way that we're going to be using them in the future. So NFTs are really the first time in human history that we've been able to assign a decentralized digital property right on the internet. It's fantastic, and for anyone that is a gamer here or that spends a lot of time on the internet in general, uh, for the first time, we can now accumulate value and assign value in a way that wasn't before possible, and I think that's really exciting for a number of reasons, right? You can now own a parcel of land in an MMORPG, a massive multiplayer online role playing game. You can have a sword or shield and have the registry that lives on not be in a centralized game server owned by a game company that maybe doesn't want you selling that outside the context of that game, but rather live on a blockchain and you be able to get liquidity in that item to quite literally be able to play and earn money while playing by selling that sword or that shield outside of that game. NFTs enable that. NFTs will enable us to tokenize, quite literally everything of value in the physical world. We'll be able to tokenize that in the form of a token and bring liquidity to it in this digital environment that we're all now transacting and communicating with each other in. So I think that's really exciting. And I think then if you follow me on this evolution of, okay, so they're pictures right now and you can own a picture of a monkey or a picture of a doodle or a picture of a crypto punk, but if I could also own a virtual piece of land, if I could also own maybe the authenticity certificate of a watch or the title deed of a property, I'm probably going to want a digital place to display those things, a digital home for your digital goods. And I think in the real world, we've gotten really used to inviting friends over to our homes in a pre-COVID world and showing people all of the physical possessions you have in your garage or your apartment or your dorm room or wherever it is that you may keep it. It could be your office, and you hang things of value to you, maybe your diploma on the wall or a signed autographed jersey from your favorite athlete, right? We put those on our wall, but in the digital world, we haven't had a gallery to display it, a gallery for all of those things. And our sincere hope, our desire is that this community helps establish this open source, open license platform run by its users for its users as first and foremost a place to display all of the digital collectibles and value that we have, and then integrate that into a fully open community governed marketplace where you could transact and interact with each other and comment on what someone is doing to the extent that those are things you want people commenting on or want people seeing. So again, a pretty grand vision, but I think our hope for how that profile would be used is those digital goods, you could display them in the way you want them displayed. Maybe you want maybe you want your board ape a little bit bigger than some of the other things in your collection, or maybe you want them higher up. At first, this is too big to fully code all of this up in time for launch, but our hope is to continue to roll out customizable features for profiles so that profiles really feel representative of the collector, of the user, or of the creator who wants to display a digital good that they've created for sale. And I'm really excited, and I don't yet think we can say for sure how people are going to use profiles, but I do think that everyone's gonna want one, and I think everyone's gonna want one in their bio. Twitter, you want it in your Twitter bio or your Instagram bio. It's frankly a little bit better of a URL than some of the other profiles you can have for your NFTs today. So nft.com/Alec. Come look at all the amazing RuneScape collectibles that Alec has in his
Oh,
gallery.
yes.
And
If RuneScape dropped an NFT, I would 100% be going for it. Yeah.
I
Uh,
still love RuneScape.
I know. We don't have that kind of time though. We can't go down that rabbit hole. Um,
No, we can't.
uh, so I for everyone here that's been hearing about Genesis keys and profiles and the vision of NFT.com, how do they get involved, Jordan? Tell us a little bit about the blind auction, the public sale. Um, how can someone get involved today?
Yeah, so it's really important for us that you all listening decide what Genesis keys cost. It can't be me, it can't be Alec, because that's just going to lead to people getting upset. I don't know what they're worth. They're worth what you want them to be worth. And the way we thought would be the fairest way to launch this particular platform is we're moving towards what we call the whitelist blind auction, where every single one of you right now can go to nft.com and click join the whitelist. There's buttons quite literally everywhere on that page. And really be put into a whitelist. You quite literally will have to get whitelisted. It's not a joke. So if your address is not whitelisted, you will not be able to participate in the blind auction. So please definitely go get whitelisted. Only the addresses, the Ethereum address is whitelisted, will be able to submit bids. But once the whitelist auction commences, you'll be able to submit a blind bid on what you'd like to pay for a Genesis key. Everyone will do that from all over the world, no matter where you are. During that auction period, you'll submit a bid until the end of the auction. It'll be pretty quick. I don't know if we publish exactly how long it'll run, but it'll be quick. You'll get an email. Make sure you're in Discord. Um, make sure you follow us on Twitter, just to be sure that you don't miss the notification that the auction has started.
We'll be
At the
paying in
end,
Discord too.
exactly. And at the end of the auction, what we will do is from highest to lowest in descending order, we're going to rank all the bids that are submitted. And what we decided would be the fairest way to do it is because there's only 3,000 keys that will be sold in the whitelist blind auction. What we're doing is we're going to enable everyone who wins the top 3,000 bids to pay a price much lower than what their bid was. We're actually going to enable them to pay the 3,000 in first bid, which we think is great because one, we don't want people paying more than others. It needs to be fair. All of the whitelist blind auction participants that win will all pay that same price. And that price will be lower than what everyone bid, which we think is the fairest. Then the remaining 6,750 keys will simply be sold to the public. There's not an auction at all. They'll be sold at the median price of the whitelist blind auction. And that'll happen immediately after the whitelist blind auction finishes. So the remaining 6,750 keys will be sold. For those that are wondering, hey, why does that only add up to 6,000? I'm sorry, why does it only add up to
9,750.
9,750? It's because 250 keys were kept for the team. Every team member got one key, and then some very helpful, influential people who have been connecting us to creators, people already in the NFT space who have provided value to the project. They are each getting a key. So there were 250 keys kept for that purpose, and that adds up to 10,000 total. So that's what we're doing with Genesis keys. The call to action right now is just make sure you're whitelisted, Alec. If
Yep.
you want a Genesis key, if you're as excited as I am about meeting up with all the Genesis key holders in real life and in the metaverse, to help debate for hours about how this platform should run and be governed, I invite you to come join us and our team to make this platform a reality. And the way you do that is by getting a Genesis key.
Yep. nft.com/whitelist. You can register right now. It's really easy. All we ask is your email address so we can let you know when the auction's going to happen, as well as your Ethereum address. Um, also, I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about the Genesis keys just because I'm passionate about this. I've been working really closely with an amazing design team to get these things created. Although these are utility NFTs that provide you governance capabilities as well as first access to the platform, I will say we're going to be sharing some photos of these pretty soon, and they're pretty sick. Jordan, you've seen some of them, you know.
Oh yeah, they are these these keys are. I fell off my chair when I saw them. I mean, they are so much more beautiful than I was a little bit nervous on at how they would turn out, but they are. beautiful 3D, amazing images I'm super excited about. And I do just want to clarify one point because I don't want this to be misleading. The public sale price will be the median of the 3,000. So of the 3,000
Good
winning
shout.
bids, there needs to be a benefit of being in the whitelist, of course. So the people in the public sale will be paying a slightly higher price, which will be the median of the 3,000 winning bids. But the 3,000 bids will pay the price of the 3,000 in first bid. So
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to be confused. The whitelist will be cheaper than the public sale. I think that's fair because we need to take care of this community. You all have helped build
Yep.
this Discord. Some of you have been in Discord since it was 20 people, 30 people, 100 people, and now
Or
it's
in the
20,000
Telegram.
people. So um, we want our whitelisted members to we want to take care of them. They will pay the 3,000 in first bid price, but the public sale folks will pay the median of the top 3,000.
Yep. And to add to that as well, we're going to be releasing some more information very soon about how the auction process works from a gas fee standpoint. We understand, and obviously, we both of us coming from Hedera, we have our own beef with gas fees and such. We're doing our best to ensure that there are no gas fees applied for placing bids and amending bids. So we're going to have some documentation out soon that'll let you know exactly where you may encounter a gas fee in this process. But ideally, the only time you really have to pay a heavy one is first authorizing your wallet, and secondly, if you mint a key. So
Yeah.
um,
The one more thing we didn't talk about that I just want to address because I see the tribalism happening here with tech and tech platforms that we want to use. Our vision is very clear, and I just want everyone to understand we are going to be a multi-protocol ecosystem. NFT.com again is too big, and too many people care about too many different protocols, and NFTs live in too many different places. Initially, we have to support the ecosystem that is the largest. There's over almost 200 million accounts on the Ethereum network today, where some of the other protocols, the DNA of this team, a lot of us on the NFT.com team, we're part of the founding team of Hedera, and want to support that ecosystem as well as the Solana ecosystem and the Polkadot ecosystem and the Algorand and Avalanche ecosystems. So we really want to be as unbiased as possible. If you really care about a particular chain, and about a particular NFT ecosystem, I think the call to action here of why you want a Genesis key is through a fair governance process, we will determine what other layer one protocols and their respective NFTs get integrated. The requirement for those layer one protocols is simply that they enable decentralized atomic swapping of NFTs. That smart contracts can be used to swap the NFT tokens on their particular chains or graphs or whatever they are. So I know a lot of you care about HBAR and Hedera. I know a lot of you care about Solana. I know a lot of you care about Cosmos and Luna and all of these protocols. And we want you to know that we do too. We care about you and what you all want. So we will listen. And the way to be heard is have a Genesis key participate in governance. And through that fair process, I think that's the fairest way for NFT.com to prioritize these are the chains that will be supported. These are the NFT ecosystems that will have their NFT supported. So that's just another reason why to have a Genesis key if you really want to see your favorite layer one protocol integrated. I just wanted to make sure we got that out.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Jordan. I think we've been saying from even in the Hedera days, there are going to be a lot of different chains for a lot of different purposes and needs, and to suit all kinds of different use cases. So, NFT.com ultimately wants to and aims to become the hub for everything that the metaverse could really provide. As our worlds become more and more digital, we stand to be your home for that. So, um, I I know your time is a bit limited today. I know you have to run. We're a couple minutes over, but are there any closing thoughts for the community you'd like to share?
Today, and you mentioned it's my birthday. I get pretty introspective on my birthday. Honestly, I don't love getting another year older, but I'm incredibly grateful for how far we've come in the past year, for how much we as a team have been able to accomplish. For those listening, please know we're not going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. The team is working tirelessly to listen to the community feedback, to some of the constructive criticism, to be able to implement it, but we can't do this without you. So first and foremost, I'm grateful for those of you that have been listening from the very beginning. Thank you for listening. For those that joined us late, thank you. This is an invite to come join us, to come help us make NFT.com a reality, and we're excited to have your support. So stay tuned for the Genesis Key announcements. They'll be coming a lot sooner than I think some of you realize. I really hope to see you all in the private Genesis Key channels. And we'll be doing a lot of experiences and things just for Genesis Key holders. So do make sure you get one, and please join us as a holder to come steer this community. That's the close and thought, Alec. And of course, happy Friday. Everyone have a great weekend. It's a pleasure to be able to talk with all of you today.
Thanks for joining us, Jordan. And for the community, we're going to be doing a lot more of these, by the way. Ideally, we're going to make this a pretty frequent event where we just come and hang out, and we'll start taking some questions for the next one as well. So, thank you all for your time. Have a wonderful weekend, and you'll see me in chat. Thanks, y'all.